Welcome to Doing Business Gently. I'm your host, Marta Gertzen. Here on the podcast, the goal is to create a safe place for us to talk about creating a gentle business that is designed to fit you, your values, your priorities, personality, and the current season of life you're in. If you're thinking it's time to pivot or make some changes, but lack clarity around what's next, I'm really glad you're here. Each episode, we dive into the idea of how to do business gently and in a way that aligns with your faith, your health, your calling, and in the midst of all that, learning to do it all from a habit and a place of rest, because doing business gently starts with rest. Now, if you've been around here for a while, you'll notice my voice is a little off. I've been waiting to record any new episodes until I got over this crazy cold that turned into a sinus infection with laryngitis, but here we are. I'm much better, but my voice has yet to come back, so we're just going to go move forward with it. Right now, as I'm recording this is the third full week of January 2026. And to say that January kicked off and 2026 kicked off smooth sailing would not be an accurate description. One, I got quite sick, the sickest I've been in years. My mother's health took a turn for the worse, and to the point that we decided my sister needed to fly in and be here. It turned out that my mom stabilized. It was not doing quite as badly as we had thought, but the Lord worked it out that my sister was here and could be with our mom while I was sick and could not go in and be with her. So it has been a crazy month. In the midst of all this, I've been feeling a pressure to get my business planned out for 2026. In previous episodes, I've talked about that I don't do planning in December. I want to enjoy the holidays. I want to enjoy the winter. I want to enjoy that time between Christmas and New Year's without a lot of pressure because it's been a busy fall. And I do my planning in January. And I usually take the full month of January to do my planning because I want to plan with energy, with motivation, with intent. And this time around, I actually put it out to the public and have women going through this process with me of going through January Planuary. And something I wanted to bring up for you and for me is that pressure to have everything figured out by January 1st is not realistic for most of us. It is unfair pressure. Most of us are just coming off the holiday buzz and the holiday exhaustion sometimes. And now we're ready to hit January with the idea, okay, now I'm ready to think about my business. And because this year started out so crazy, I'm actually, quote unquote, behind on my January Planuary. It's really been only in the last 4 or 5 days that I've really been able to do my deep dives into my business in 2025 and take a look what's happened, what worked, what didn't, what changed, what needs to change. And in talking with the women in January Planuary who are going through this process with me, they're in the same boat. Some of them have been sick. One gal had to travel. So I'm saying all this because I want you to know that here it is, the third full week in January 2026. You are not behind if you don't have your business planned out, if you don't have goals set, if you don't have your word of the year set, if you don't have your income figured out and how you're going to generate it yet. You are not behind. One of my first business coaches, she always says, you are never late to your own miracle. You're never late to planning for your business. There's nothing special. There's nothing arbitrary about January 1st. That is a date on a calendar. So here we are in the third week. And if you are like me and wanting to look at 2026 as a way to build a gentle business, this takes intention. This takes practice. This takes intentional and purposeful decision making. It takes generating data to make decisions from. It takes taking our business plans to God in a business meeting with God to figure it out and ask for His leading and guidance. It doesn't happen in a vacuum either. It happens through conversation. It happens through prayer. It happens through data and diving into your data and what do your numbers mean. It means looking at your own health and how you are doing. How did you do in your business in 2025? How would you like to feel and be in your business in 2026? You are not behind if you don't know exactly what your word of the year is. I was very blessed that I was given my word of the year back in November. That doesn't always happen. There's times that I don't have my word of the year picked out until February. And it can feel frustrating because I think, wait a minute, I'm not doing this right. There's no right or wrong. There's no, this is better than the other. It happens when it happens. And when you make the time to, and you set aside that time to dive into your business and start making your plans, that's the perfect time to do it. Now, you are going to feel feelings of, I'm doing it wrong, I am behind, I know I have, but then I have to take a step back and say, nope, I'm doing okay. I've been sick. My mom's needed extra attention. It's okay that I don't have everything figured out. And I will admit, being sick has added another layer of clarity for me, that I did just have to let things go for a while. I had to make sure that the women in my group were taken care of, and I was leading them through the process, and that when I felt better, I'd be able to catch up and get some of the work done to evaluate my business from the previous year. And I'm so glad I waited, because it gave me time to heal. It gave me time to talk to my sister and be with my sister as she helped our mom while I couldn't. And it took the pressure off of me trying to have a perfect plan put together for 2026. I hate being sick. I don't like being sick. It's frustrating, but it was a lesson for me and a reminder that it's okay to go at my pace. When you find the time and when you have the space in front of you, you can be successful. And when you have that time and you make that space and you go at your pace, that success is even more possible. And you're doing it from a place of rest, of understanding, of intentional work, of intentional decision making. You're doing it from a place of calm instead of frantic energy trying to get everything figured out. So today's episode is short because I still can't talk for very long, but I just wanted to jump in here, and this has been on my heart for me a lot. And it's been on my mind as I've talked to the women in my January Planuary program. And I'm going to offer this to you. I know for me, 2025 was probably the hardest year of my life, definitely one of the hardest years of my business. And it was a year of refining, of scaling back, of peeling back the layers of what was extra and not necessary. And because my focus needed to be on my mom, my business, and my health. And there wasn't much above that I could do. And a lot of times my mom took top priority over everything. And because of that, I've learned to slowly, and sometimes kicking and screaming, I have learned to take a step back, look at my priorities, and look at my capacity. Last year in 2025, I fought my capacity tooth and nail most of the time. I'm so used to being able to go and get things done, of having a list of to-do items that I would like to get done in my home, in my hobbies, in my business, whatever it is. And I didn't get to do that last year because my energy and my capacity were often used up. And my focus at that point then was refilling my reserves, getting back to the point where I could go back and support my mom and do the work of supporting my clients. This year is a year of stopping fighting that capacity and accepting it on one hand, but honoring it on the other. Of taking that capacity and getting creative on how I want to use my capacity to the fullest advantage without draining my reserves, and not always constantly trying to bust through past that boundary, past that limited capacity. So 2025 for me was a refining year. 2026 is a redefining year. It's redefining my priorities, understanding where my energy needs to go in life, in business, in caring for my mother. It is now a time to finish my review of the previous year, take a good hard look at it, get honest about what worked, what didn't, how did I do in it, what did I enjoy, what did I not enjoy, what would I like to let go of this year, or what would I like to add back. I have a list of both. And so I just want to invite you to do the same. Not worried that you don't have it all figured out yet. Not worried that you don't have the whole thing implemented by the January 30th. And don't worry that you need to slow down and take things at a slower pace. Doing business gently. Starting your own gentle business rebellion. All of it starts from a place of rest. And rest takes intention. Rest takes intentional decision making. And it takes practice. And it takes habit building. And when you can learn to work from a place of rest, you are learning how to do business and life on a gentler scale rather than the constant toxic hustle that we often find ourselves in. So that's all I have for you this week, keeping it short. I hope to come back to you next time with a much improved voice. And I just want to remind you, you are not behind. With time and space and finding your pace, you can be successful here in 2026. If you are ready to do business gently, if you are ready to start your own gentle business rebellion, just remember, it starts with rest.